You're listening to Curious Cat, the podcast that examines the shadowy space where science and the supernatural collide. I'm your host, Jennifer Holtz. Join me every week as I explore what it means to be a soul in a meat suit. Welcome to Curious Cat. As you know, if you listened last week, I'm dedicating the month of December to the angels. They've been putting in work to keep us humans from feeling nonstop despair during these rough times. As I meditated on which angels to shine a spotlight on, first one sea angel came forward, Caliel, which you know from last week, and then another soon used my pen to jot down their name. Like others, I assumed their name was Castiel with a T, like the character from the TV series Supernatural, but they patiently waited for me to correct my work. Cassiel, with two S's in the middle, is the angel's name, and I cannot wait to share more. Let's get into it. The Black Feather Intuitive is my go-to source on angels. She's incredible and gives such rich depth and breadth to the angels. Her writing is excellent too, so give her website a visit using the link I provided for you in the show notes. Here's what she has to say about Cassiel. Archangel Cassiel, known as the Angel of Tears and Temperament, or who I refer to as the Archangel of Duality, can help us find harmony and balance when we're feeling low, open up new realities, and help us embrace the duality within each of us. Duality is an instance of opposition or contrast between two concepts or two aspects of something, a dualism. By this definition, duality is a fundamental part of our human experience here on Earth. We cannot understand light without first experiencing the dark. We need both aspects of an experience to fully integrate our ego into our higher selves. Healing the duality within. We need to explore both to end our suffering, accept ourselves fully just as we are, and live fearlessly in the now, in the present moment, in the joy. We are both and we are neither. Within this understanding, there is balance. Within this balance, there is harmony. Within this harmony, there is oneness. And within oneness is love. In every moment, and every moment is perfect just as it is. Enter Archangel Cassiel. When you need solace or comfort during troubled times, or a friend when you're all alone, call upon Cassiel to support you. Unlike other angels, Cassiel simply observes and watches what happens here on Earth without interfering. He is considered to be the ruling prince or high-ranking angel who guards the seventh heaven, which is said to be the most sacred realm where God sits on his throne. Cassiel is most widely known as the Angel of Tears, for true joy comes from being comforted through the tears of sorrow. He is also known as the ruling archangel of Saturn, which is associated with feelings of temperance, moderation, and self-discipline. Thus, calling him the Angel of Tears and Temperance essentially names him the Archangel of Saturn. Based on this knowledge, they claim the best time to call upon Cassiel is on Saturday, Saturn's Day. Some believe Archangel Cassiel is in charge of past life experiences and reincarnation. Others claim he helps protect you from psychic attacks and the art of meditation. And she's going to share a very personal story about those psychic attacks at the end of this episode. For astrologers, Saturn's also associated with the concept of time. As the slowest moving planet, Saturn represents maturity and the aging process, so naturally, Cassiel also became known as the Angel of Time. Lastly, some refer to Cassiel as the Angel of the Sea because he can understand the language of dolphins. Due to this close connection with dolphins, some say to call upon Cassiel to protect you when you visit or live near the sea. For most people, Archangel Cassiel can appear bathed in white or silver light with hints of bronze, purple, or pink. He is predominantly portrayed as a bearded man wearing a crown and is often shown carrying a spear and riding a dragon. Alternatively, in some tarot decks, Archangel Cassiel is represented as a man wearing a black robe carrying a scythe. This is why some people mistakenly refer to him as the Angel of Death. Cassiel has a niche role. Black Feather Intuitive, as well as other sources that I found online, say that Cassiel has a very niche role. He has been tasked with presiding over the death of kings. In astrology, the sun symbolizes kingship, and the winter solstice marks the death of the sun, i.e., the death of kings. Okay, so how fast is Cassiel? I had to know more when I heard he was a quick-moving angel, and I found this. Cassiel is the fastest angel in all of heaven. Even powerful archangels such as Michael cannot keep up with him. It is because of his speed that the ancient Greeks worshipped Cassiel as Hermes, whom is known as the messenger of the gods. His speed is so great as such that he can appear in several places at once and caused many to think that this is some sort of omnipresent ability, but Cassiel dismissed it as such. Cassiel can also use his speed for offensive capabilities, for it is said that the faster an object moves, the more mass it attains. Therefore, when Cassiel uses physical offensive abilities, his attacks can reach the speed of light, and according to Lucifer, it felt as though he was struck by a white dwarf star. Medium Tracy Dixon had more information about Cassiel on her website, writing this. Archangel Cassiel, also known as Castiel, is Archangel of Saturday, Saturn, and the seventh heaven, Erebos. He embodies the qualities of introspection, responsibility, and acceptance of life cycles. Castiel is known to, quote, show forth the unity of the eternal kingdom, end quote. Here's more, and some is a repeat, but keep alert for the new information woven within. Castiel governs the death of kings and acts as the chief aide to Archangel Gabriel, or Gabriel, in battles. His connection to mortality and the passage of earthly power reflects his Saturnine influence, as Saturn is traditionally associated with time, structure, and the completion of cycles. In Kabbalistic traditions, Erebos is the highest of the heavens, associated with the divine throne and the realm of pure spirit. Cassiel's Saturnine influence emphasizes his governance over time and mortality. He acts as a guide and guardian for souls traversing the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds. This connection underscores Cassiel's role as a bridge between the mortal and the eternal. Cassiel offers guidance and support to those seeking to navigate life's most profound challenges and transformations. By embodying the energies of Saturn, he provides discipline, responsibility, and the wisdom gained through hardship. Here's that personal story I promised you, and it's a little scary about first working with Archangel Cassiel. Black Feather Intuitive shared this personal, somewhat scary story on her website, which I've linked to in the show notes. And she writes this. My first experience with Archangel Cassiel was at first an overwhelming one, not because of his energy, but because of another energy that was posing as a divine being. Several years ago, while I was exploring all of my psychic abilities, I inadvertently connected with a lower energy being that was sapping my life force and causing disruption in my relationships. I tend to be an all or nothing kind of gal, and I was especially so when pursuing and enhancing my psychic gifts. In my learning process around angel energy, I was interested in differentiating between different energies in a tangible way. I unknowingly opened myself up without properly protecting my energy and ended up with a dark angel. This angel appeared to me with gorgeous black feathered wings and a warm, activating energy. As I do not judge by color, I enjoyed this angel's presence when he came around. He made me feel wonderful. I could physically see him in my solar plexus and sacral chakra areas in meditation, sensations I was just beginning to open up to in the psychic realm. After a few months of me working with this dark angel, as I referred to him, I started noticing that the sensations he sent me no longer felt appropriate or relaxing. The energies I received were changing into more intense, almost insistent bursts that left me feeling tired and drained after working with him, and I was noticing strange feelings towards my husband at the time, easily irritated by his words, she writes, actions and choices, not wanting to be in physical proximity or intimacy, and a general dissatisfaction. This was not a common occurrence in our relationship. We were recent newlyweds and very happy with our lives individually as well as in the couple state. I knew something was off. Connecting with a fellow psychic friend one night, I shared with them my recent experiences with this dark angel and how I was feeling about the whole thing. She educated me on the succubus, a disincarnated, lower vibrational energy that feeds off higher vibrational energies in the 3D world. They can disguise themselves through lulling the target into feeling good and safe, but their intention is to drain them of their higher energy on a regular basis. I got chills as she spoke, knowing that what she was describing was my dark angel. I needed to remove this thing from my energetic field now. She continues writing this. In a short, guided cleansing, Archangel Cassiel came into my mind's eye. At this point, I was questioning every energy and sensation I felt. My fear level was so high, and my mind was filled with anxiety. Castiel assured me through feeling and a visual cue that I would recognize as safe and told me to not resist his energy. I could see and feel this entity being pulled away from my midsection through my mind's eye. When the entity was gone, Castiel repaired and sealed my energetic field and told me how to avoid these types of encounters in the future. He encouraged me to continue my psychic learning and told me he had my back. Now, whenever I'm clearing a space or setting up a new sacred space to work in, I call on Archangel Cassiel, knowing that it will be done right. Medium Tracy Dixon shares how and why people pray to Castiel. From her website, linked in the show notes, comes this. People invoke Archangel Cassiel for various reasons, primarily seeking wisdom, introspection, and guidance through difficult times. Here are some common reasons why individuals pray to Cassiel. Wisdom and introspection. Castiel is called upon for deep understanding and introspection, helping individuals comprehend the mysteries of Saturn and life cycles. Guidance through hardship. Castiel provides support and guidance during times of sorrow or despair, helping individuals find balance and justice within themselves and the world. Acceptance of life cycles. Castiel's influence helps people accept the natural cycles of life, including mortality and the passage of time, fostering a sense of peace and understanding. Restoration of karmic equilibrium. Castiel is invoked for the restoration of karmic balance, helping individuals navigate their spiritual journeys with responsibility and respect. I found a connection meditation, a way to connect with Archangel Cassiel from Black Feather Intuitive. Now, if you're behind the wheel of a car or a bike or a scooter, or you just are responsible for other people right now, then don't do this. Just skip ahead and mark the podcast in this space and do it when you have a time and the space and the safety to do it in quiet. But here it is, offered in love if you're in a safe place. Close your eyes and connect to your breath. Inhale and exhale until you find a comfortable rhythm. Clench and tighten all of your muscles all at once. Hold for 3 seconds, then release them with an audible sigh or ah. Repeat this again. Clench and tighten all your muscles, including your jaw, your forehead, stomach, and feet. Hold for 3 seconds, then release with an audible ah. Allow your legs and arms to flop out to the sides without any tension. Now focus on being perfectly still. Notice how your body reacts or responds to that stillness. Visualize yourself sitting in a black room in front of a full-length mirror. You are dressed in white. As you examine your reflection, you realize you are only able to see your silhouette. Only your shadow is visible, black against a white room. It is standing tall. You raise your right arm toward the mirror and your shadow raises its left, reflecting its opposite. You frown in confusion and your shadow smiles wide with understanding. As you ponder this moment, your reflection begins to move towards you. Stepping out of the mirror, you feel a very comforting presence fill the room. Tears of joy wet your eyes, and you realize that Archangel Cassiel has joined you. Repeat out loud this intention. Hi, Castiel. It's an honor to meet you. I want to get to know you better. I'd love to learn about your gifts and how you communicate with me. I am ready to receive your guidance. Please show me how to accept and integrate all aspects of duality in my life in a tangible, verifiable way now. I am so grateful you have made it so. If you wish, take this time now to add a personal intention for this meditation. Castiel, your shadow, takes your hand and leads you into the mirror for an adventure. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. The other thing is, if you don't have time to have a quiet space where you go into the mirror with Castiel, you can ask Castiel to come to you in a dream that night, and he will. I have no doubt of that. This meditation comes from the Black Feather Intuitive's book titled The Archangel Experiment, Elevate Your Relationship with the Divine. This book has a lot of guided audio meditations and experiments that help you discover more ways to deeply connect with Castiel and other angels to help you understand the duality within each of us. And audio recordings of meditations are included in the price of the book. You can find it on Amazon, or if you click the links to her website, there's a link there to all of her works. There are offerings and correspondences for Archangel Cassiel. Here are the offerings. In terms of incense, frankincense, myrrh, patchouli, cypress, camphor, deep earthy scents that are associated usually with Saturn. Some traditional offerings, things ruled by Saturn like onions, poppies, funerary cakes, or breads to honor Castiel's rulership over death. Correspondences, gemstones, lead, jet, onyx, salt. The heavy grounding mineral qualities align with Saturn's density, salt for purification and banishing. In terms of plants, nightshade, cypress, yew, poppies, plants with dark, somber, narcotic, or funerary connections were ruled by Saturn. Symbols include the scythe, hourglass, banners, swords, armor, skulls, tears, stone, Gargoyles, willow trees, Saturn, occult books, an hourglass, tombstones, skeletons, representing Saturn's governance of mortality, old age, and time itself. The tombstone one is really interesting, and I just have to say, we've been going through some things in the last couple months, and I had this image of a tombstone surrounded by all of these pearly white stones of support, and it was kind of scary at first, but when I read that Cassiel was showing up as symbolized by a tombstone, I was comforted because I felt Cassiel everywhere. I still do. Metals include lead. Actually, it's just lead. It's the heaviest of the classical planetary metals that corresponds to Saturn. Ritual timings, which we talked about, the best times to maybe reach out are Saturdays, during the evening, during Saturn's astrological hour or election. And remember, though, angels are always open for business. The colors associated with Castiel include black as the outermost visible planet and associated with the prime matter or black state in alchemy, Saturn. Saturn actually is a planet that was the hardest but the also last planet able to be seen with the naked eye before we had all the tech. So it's been known for, centuries and centuries to saddle the spaces between the physical world and the spiritual realm, and that's all Cassiel's purview. The color dark blue is also associated with this angel. Deep, rich blue shades. Purple, too, the regal color of royalty and governance. Silver gray, maybe that's why I dyed my hair silver last month. Silver armor, weaponry, or jewelry. Pale colors as an angel of solitude and tears. Pale, washed out colors, melancholy tones, and also greens. Saturn governs agriculture, so of course green relates to that. Archangel Cassiel is a guardian of solitude and tears, offering his deep compassion and understanding to those who seek his help. Whether you're looking for wisdom, introspection, or guidance through difficult times, Cassiel is a powerful ally to call upon. Oh, and by the way, Cassiel balances all of the chakras all at once. His aromatherapy oils include marjoram, clary sage, and neruli. Before we close, I need to share what I found out about Cassiel and the seventh hall, which Archangel Cassiel is said to rule over. This is from studylib.net with a preface that I do not understand all of, but it resonates as true. So I'd love to know your thoughts and what you found to be most important. Here it is. Tonight we voyage to the uppermost or highest heaven, the seventh heaven. Called Erabator, the clouds in Hebrew. It is likened to a vast plain or the surface of an endless sea or endless crystal waters, and is where the major experiences of Enoch occurred. It is home of the God of his throne, along with the highest orders of angels, the seraphim, the cherubim, and the thrones. We find here also the angels of love, fear, grace, and dread. 3 Enoch. It is where all beings cry out, I am, when they are born, and if they can remember, also when they die. In Kabbalah, this heaven represents the supernal triad, Kether, Hokmah, Binah, and is the place of that which is created good, beautiful, merciful, and just, the qualities of the 3 supernals, including the Tiphareth of the Absolute in the divine world. It is the place of origin for the divine dew, the dew of Hermon, which produces joy in spiritual aspirants, called nectar in ancient writings, and which will revive the dead on the day of resurrection. When the great cycle of creation reaches its jubilee phase in return, this heaven is ruled by the Archangel Cassiel, which is the Latin name for the Hebrew Castiel, the angel of solitude and tears, the father of time, who shows both the unity of all things in the eternal world and the futility of all pursuits in the phenomenal world. This mighty angel is therefore the messenger of completion for what Gurdjieff called the second totality of functioning, the unity of presence. He brings the certainty spoken of in Scripture, quote, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" Romans 8:31. He is also associated with harmony, balance, serenity, and with keeping things in perspective. He has been known to appear as the angel of temperance. Cassiel is also a ruling prince of the angelic order of powers and one of the three regents of Saturn. Kronos, or Saturn, is the ancient of times that allows the absolute to experience linear consequences, the play of opposites such as joy and sorrow, a world where everything does not happen all at once, as it does in eternity. Cassiel is known for not interfering or even interacting with humans or other creatures, and to be only an observer, not a shaper of events. He only takes action with humans when ordered to do so by the heavenly host. This characteristic places him as the opposite end of the social spectrum from the Archangel Raphael, who most enjoys the company of humans. This characteristic of aloofness is consistent with the letting go spiritual experience of this heaven, as it is the last veil to be removed from the sight of those on the path of return, representing the only death we ever really face, the final death of the ego, the man on the cross. Perhaps this is why Cassiel is also known to attend the death of kings, for is not the ego the king of the organic machine? If we can surrender, according to biblical legend, the light that was called forth on the first day of creation, and which is found in this heaven, allows creatures to see from one end of the world to the other, the result of this veil falling away. Rabbi and Kabbalist Zev ben Shimon Halevi says that, quote, "Such a divine luminosity is said to be perceived only by those pure spirits who have made contact with the highest level of creation after death, or during a profound moment of illumination during life. This is the state and condition of the seventh heaven that all mystics seek," end quote. And finally, a few more details I couldn't resist sharing from the Occult Encyclopedia, which writes this: Castiel is an angel appearing in extra-canonical Jewish, Christian, and Islamic mystical and magical works, often as one of the seven archangels, the angel of Saturn, and other roles. Cassiel is sometimes described as the angel of tears and the angel of temperance. He is sometimes conflated with Archangel Cassiel. Cassiel is invoked in ancient Hebrew charms to tell if any enemy is running away. He is called the ruler of the seventh heaven in the book of Enoch, but is only one of three guardians of the door of the seventh hall, which we talked about earlier. The Sefer Raziel Hamalak lists Cassiel as the prince of Saturn. The Zohar describes him as one of the two chief aides, alongside Hizkiel to Archangel Gabriel. He is one of the angels of death in Judaism, specifically the angel who presides over the deaths of young men. Cassiel is listed in the related works The Sworn Book of Honorius and in Peter D. Abano's Heptameron. Cassiel's presence in Honorius may also be a result of Greek influence, as he is likewise listed in the Byzantine Exorcism Manual. In these works, he is, as usual, listed as the angel of Saturn, but also as the angel of the North and as one of the angels named in John Dee's Siglum Die. In various editions of the Key of Solomon as Cassiel, or Cassiel spelled with an A-E-L, he is the angel, sometimes archangel, over Saturn. I wanted to close today with a quote that I found when I was researching Cassiel. It's a Tibetan proverb. A mountain castle opened its gates for the eagles of divine guidance, a meeting place, a refuge of angels who, by their loving kindness, return to earth dimension in times of strife and confusion. The mountain is called Great patience, end quote. Oh my goodness. Thanks so much for being patient with me this week. I have had Cooper barking. I have had my eldest cats eating and fighting and scritching things. And now I have a neighbor with a leaf blower. It's been that kind of week. And you know what's interesting about that? Usually they're the episodes that most need to be in your ears. Which sounds so weird. They need to be out in the world. That's what I should say. They're the episodes that most need to be out in the world. I'm glad you're out in the world. Until next week, stay curious. I love you.
You move like a shadow, the moon forgot. A hush in the hallway where thunder once walked. Your eyes hold a tempest the sky won't release, but I feel the pressure beneath every piece. You speak in ellipses and glances in air, but silence is louder when someone is there. I trace the outline of storms in your skin, waiting for something to let itself in. You're a quiet storm, velvet sky with a silver thorn, tides that turn in secret grace, lightning veiled in a lover's face. I stand in the hush, in the breath before the roar. I could drown in the stillness of your quiet storm. You wear your restraint like a well-cut coat, but your heart writes poems your mouth never spoke. You ache like a wave that forgot how to crash, and I ache for the sound of the thunder you stash. Each moment a cloud with nowhere to rain, each whisper a hymn to unspoken pain. And still I remain with my hands open wide, calling the storm you keep buried inside. You're a quiet storm, velvet sky with a silver thorn, tides that turn in secret grace, lightning veiled in a lover's face. I stand in the hush, in the breath before the roar. I could drown in the stillness of your quiet storm. Let it fall, let it flame, let it speak in your true name. If you're holding back the flood, I'll be here through wind and mud. You're a quiet storm, but I see the stars you've worn. Winds may tear the sky apart, but I will still call you art. So come undone, let the silence transform. I will dance in the ruins of your quiet storm. if the sky must break, let it break.